Reclaiming Timeless Ways. Mike Traster, Simon Fuller, episode number 47. Hard to believe we're on 47, Mike. We'll have to have a party on our 50th, huh?
Okay, that sounds
Wasn't
good
that
to
long.
me.
We were sitting in Hy-Vee drinking our cup of coffee, not even having a clue this was going to begin into a little video series, and here we are, 47 shows later.
You said to me, we should do a podcast, and I said, I don't know how to do that.
Well, for the record, we came to meet, and 3 hours later, Mike had just full of awesome information. I'm like, this is good stuff. Do you think we can do something with it? We do a little video streaming of high school sports. Maybe we can turn this into something. You were kind of thinking maybe radio. I thought this would be maybe a more suitable format because, as you can see, we don't really have a format. We have a topic,
Right.
and it could be 15 minutes. It could be 40 minutes, and everything in between.
I think we seem to we click and we can go back and forth.
Right.
And there's,
Well,
I would say, 0.25% of our content has
Right.
been planned.
Right.
If that.
right. Starts with a thought.
Right.
You have an outline,
Right.
and then it gets expanded upon. And obviously, YouTube has the longevity. So we hope, even if this is your first show that you're watching today, you'll maybe go back and look at some others and share them because you can go back.
And this would be our 47th podcast, and I don't believe we've ever spent 2 minutes discussing a subject prior to doing
Not
the
together.
podcast.
No. We had that one intro
Right.
of a conversation that, like I say, it was like a machine gun of good information
Oh, yeah.
coming at me.
That was 4 hours.
And was it?
Yeah,
it
it was
was.
4 hours.
Didn't seem like it,
I
but
know,
it was.
it was crazy.
And then Mike comes in with sort of an outline, a title, if you will.
Right.
And yes, there is no rehearsing. This is raw, uncut, unedited.
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
So here we go again. What are we talking about today?
Well, the title, and I'm not sure if it's a great title, is Seasons of Life. So basically at different stages, right? We have different growth and capacity.
Sure.
Right? And the first thing I want to say about that is everybody grows at a unique pace.
Okay.
So under the bell curve, there's a whole lot of room for normal, and even outside of that doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong.
Sure.
Right? So we had a next door neighbor when I grew up. I don't think the kid really started to be conversant until he was 5. I remember right, he got a college degree and he's a bright, well-functioning person, but his speech wiring just came together slowly.
Yeah.
And everybody, or many people go, oh, something is wrong, you should see a pediatric neurologist and this or that. I think his mother just said, he's just growing at his own pace. And that was,
She was correct.
she was correct, you know. Pretty happy group of kids that came out of that house. And I think the parents gave the kids grace to be themselves. So there was an interesting kind of intelligence there, you know.
It's the format, not that that's necessarily the title of the show, but just to comment on that, it is the format of parenting that I appreciate. You have to guide, you have to keep safe, protected,
Sure.
but to allow somebody to grow into themselves within a safe space is important, in my opinion.
My son got up. It was a little precursor to this, but he literally stood up one day and started walking. And he was just within a day or two of 8 months old. And everybody was like, no, that doesn't happen. You mean 10 months or 11, no, 8 months. And somebody else, just 2 years.
Right.
You know, which one is normal?
Right,
I was his normal, and
Right.
2 years was the other guy's normal.
right.
You know, and maybe a good way to look at it would be like you look at a track and field team, right? And there's one guy, and he's 6'8" and 340 pounds, and he puts the shot, right? He can barely run 100 yards, but he can
Right.
put the shot over 60 feet, right? And another guy, He's 5'4" and 135 pounds, and he can run 110 something. He's very fast. Somebody else doesn't have that explosive power, but he can go long distances quickly.
Right.
You know, they're all normal,
Right.
right?
Right. We are not all put together the exact same. That's for sure.
No.
In fact, no two are alike.
Right. So, you know, at what age do you learn to speak, or how well do you learn math? I don't know how you were designed.
Right.
You know, is it an accident? I don't think so.
Right.
You know, somebody gonna get angry. Oh no, this is all just Darwinian. You know, and I was like, that's your belief.
There are average norms, if
Right.
you will.
Right.
Sure, and those are the benchmarks that we use
Exactly.
to make those comments, but that's not absolute.
No. So I think, you know, I mean, if you see somebody reverting, to me, a reversion is a sign that there's either some emotional stress or there's something physiologically wrong with a person, you know. We had a nightmare in my family where somebody reverted, and they had a terminal neurologic illness, and I don't think they hit 5. We lost them. It was a very long time ago. It was a very just devastating tragedy. And so there was a reversion where, and you know, at some point you look at that and you go, okay, something is wrong here.
Yeah.
You know, or an elderly person might revert, and, you know, they may be losing some of their cognitive abilities. But then, I guess then the question is, do you just throw your hands up and give up? Or do you go, can I make a plan? And some people are very afraid. They're like, oh, this is doom. I'm at the threshold of destruction. So they just quit, right? And somebody else might go, what can I do?
Sure.
Right? Like, you know, I think the thing that's on a lot of people's minds these days is Bruce Willis. You know, there's this down-to-earth kind of adventurer, likable man, and we're all rooting for him. And I think we're all hoping and praying. It's like, I hope he finds something.
Yeah.
I hope he finds something. So that's just those few little words. I hope they find something. It's like if we can include that in our own mind, right? Then when we get hit by the train, we don't necessarily become a bug on the windshield, right? There's still something left in us to come back from.
Sure.
And there was a story, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in a single-engine airplane and he wiped it out. And he was never expected to think or speak or breathe on his own again. He was like in a breathing machine. And I think it was within 6 months or a year he walked out of a hospital.
Wow.
And it just blew everybody's mind, you know. But so that's the extreme, and that's not meant. It's not like you either win the Olympics or you're nothing, right?
Sure.
Like you either are the champ, you know, you're George Foreman or you're a mouse.
Right.
But it's like that phrase. I hope I find something. I hope you find something. Whenever something bad happens, you know,
Right.
how do we deal with it?
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, change in coordination and balance and visual acuity and auditory function. How do we deal with that?
Yeah.
You know? And what do we do to compensate or to balance it out? You know? So a stroke could cause, you know, things like that, or a tumor, or absorption of nutrients, an allergy. You might be having an allergic reaction to food, a heart problem, you know, respiratory illness, you know. It's important to say something's not right.
Sure.
Do I need to get somebody's opinion?
Yeah.
And it's like, not I'm going to drag myself in on a stretcher and lay on the ground and scream and moan and groan, but to just say to somebody, this isn't working right, and it was up until, 2 or 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, fine, as long as it's not emergent. But at some point, you should really reevaluate that and go, you know what? I'm an ornery cuss. I hate depending on anybody for anything. Acknowledge that.
Right.
I'm an ornery cuss. I hate depending on anybody for anything. And then the next word. But
Yeah.
maybe I need to figure out somebody who's not going to try to become my parent, who's going to respectfully give me some counsel and some information and tools that I don't have on my own. So when you talk about seasons, I mean, everybody they're little, we all start little and helpless, and then we become more independent, and hopefully we have a great long time of my joke is I want to die at 107 in my sleep from boredom,
Right.
right? Just happy, productive. Not that you don't deal with shit. Shit happens, right? It really does. We both know that.
Right.
We both go through periods of mourning, right? I'm in a period of mourning because I lost my pet a month ago because a veterinarian was worthless at best, and at worst, less than worthless, truly. And it was an unspeakable loss.
Yeah.
You've met him.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful creature.
Yeah.
Loved the German Shepherd, and every time he met a new human being, he had a celebration.
Oh, yeah. He
Right?
was a super friendly dog.
So,
A companion, a friend.
absolute, a best friend. So to me, there was literal holiness in his being,
Yeah.
right? And now he's gone.
Right.
And it was pretty quick,
Yeah.
which,
And unexpected, for sure.
it was a bad week. Called the vet 3 or 4 or 5 times, went in and saw him once. Everybody said, oh, he's okay. He was not okay, So I have to deal with that.
Right.
And in my mind, see, the irrational mind is looking to go back in time and fix something that's already done.
Right.
So we make a film and we watch the movie again and we go, wait, there's that frame. Stop the movie. I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that, and then he'll be back. No, it's done.
Yeah.
He's gone. Wow. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. So if it's the vet's fault, or if it's a friend that had a terrible drinking habit or a smoking habit, I've lost people to both, or took risks, outrageous risks, with drugs, with money, with whatever, or with danger, we have to adapt to changes around us or within us. And then how do we do this? So that's the seasons of life. How do we not make ourselves crazy? I think when you talk crazy talk to yourself, you have to literally say to yourself, like you're an adult talking to a kid, stop. Stop. Literally, stop. Stop. This is done. Take a breath and look in a different direction out the windshield, because this subject is not fixable. So change the focus of your mind.
Yeah.
And that's huge, but don't give up.
Yeah.
Do not give up, So, when I practice my Tai Chi now, which I've done for over 30 years, I do it in his honor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be planting trees in his honor and other things. That doesn't bring him back,
No.
right? I'm not going to say, oh, the vet was probably a nice guy. He was a piece of shit, right? I don't know if you're going to have to cut that out or not. Okay, he was
This is a raw and uncut
raw.
version.
This is raw Mike, as you say. So, what tools can we? Things happen. My saying is, you wake up and you plan the day, and then, comma or period, and then life happens, and then life happens That's outside of your plan.
Right.
Because it's outside of your comfort. It's not what you want. Now, what are you going to do?
Right.
Which way are you going to guide yourself? Because at this point, it's somewhat of a survival. If we talk hopeless, helpless, we don't survive very well, or at all, right? And that's a terrible choice.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, to adapt is not easy. Anybody that tells you, "Oh, I got all the answers, and look at my badge and my medals over
Run
here,"
from that person first.
very much true. Run from because they're a liar,
Yeah.
and they're probably more desperate than anybody you see.
Yeah.
They're covering up something horrible, right? I'm saying I've suffered a horrible loss
Yeah.
this month. Still dealing with it. Still painful. It doesn't just stay, it comes like in waves. There's like a peak and a valley. Something will trigger it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a season of life.
Yeah.
Unexpected,
Right.
unwanted, an accursed moment,
Yeah.
but real.
Yeah.
And here's this priceless soul who's gone.
Right.
How do I adapt to that? So you're seeing raw Mike right now.
Yeah.
You should, because I want, if my loss can help you maintain your own center, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you sharing, Mike. Never easy.
No, that was
But that is a series of, like you said, ... life happens. And we all have the ... life happens.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Reclaiming Timeless Ways. The way it should be, ought to be. Hopefully, we're giving you some skills and information to get it back that way. Have a great day.